Hi, I'm Cynthia Alvarez. Welcome again to Creating Hope with Art here at the illustrious K-Space Contemporary Gallery. I'm going to start talking about a lesson that I came up with recently called The Best Day Ever. And the reason why I came up with this is because I found out through a lot of the counseling and different mental health professionals that have shown me throughout my lifetime different ways to deal with difficult emotions. And so what we term in the mental health profession, things that help you get over or get through difficulties, we call those coping skills. And the reason why we call them coping skills is because when you can find that thing within you that helps to take your mind off of your worries. So sometimes when you have overwhelming feelings and sometimes you feel like, I don't know what to do about this. And sometimes we get stuck in a loop. Sometimes we get stuck in a loop where our emotions become overwhelming and then we don't know what to do. And so then we just do the next best, fastest, easiest thing. Sometimes it's not the best thing. And so sometimes it's not constructive for our lives. What coping skills are there to help you do is to work those emotions out into something manageable so that you can take just one moment at a time, one day at a time, and focus on ways that you can occupy your mind in a positive way. Or help redirect those thoughts. You know, if you've ever heard of the term herding kittens, it means that, it's tough to herd kittens. I don't know if you've ever tried. But sometimes your emotions can be like that. Sometimes your emotions can be all over the place. And that depends on a lot of factors. It could be what's going on in the world, because there's plenty of things to hurt my feelings, that's happening in the world. Or it could be a relationship that you're in, or that you're not in, or that your pet. There's all these different ways that I know right now in the city there are people hurting. A lot of my friends are, and they're going through tough times. So that's one of the reasons why I thought, even though May is over with, May was Mental Health Awareness Month. And so by helping people understand ways to use their own creativity to pull them out of that chaos, even if it's momentarily, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. That's why this Best Day Ever is something that I use regularly throughout my practice of keeping myself calm. So there's a lot of instances in my life where there's chaos around me, and I must stay calm in the midst of the storm. And so, how do I do that? Because I do things like this mindfulness exercise where I will, and here's the lesson it's in the book, it's called Best Day Ever. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think about a time when you felt like, I am having the best day ever. And so think about that time, just any time recently. Ever, like when I say ever, that just means like this may feel like the best day I've ever had in my whole life. But there'll be more, okay? There'll be plenty. But for now, it feels like the best day ever. So who was with me? So I was on my own. However, I guess the moon was there because it was that rare blood moon a few weeks ago. So it was just myself and the moon, okay? I felt something special as I looked into the night sky that night. What did the sky look like? I could definitely give you a portrayal of the light, the luminescence. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was amazing. And it was just what my soul needed at that time. Okay, describe the feelings that I had that day. Well, it was a nighttime. But I definitely felt that at that point, everything was happening in the right time, in the right space, and it meant a lot to me. So the things you're going to need for this, you could use any medium you want. I put down there watercolor paper and watercolors because that was part of the kit that we did distribute through Esperanzas de Texas. I put Sharpie, a brush, and then of course your imagination. However, you can use absolutely anything. When I mean anything, you could use, mail. I like reduce, reuse, recycle. You could use anything you want to create this image. So now we can get to our lesson. that is my best day ever, which was actually a night, and it's about the moon. So I'm excited to share that with you. All right, so now we're going to talk about the lesson that I came up with called Best Day Ever. So this idea came to me because there is a strategy that helps us change our focus from negativity sometimes. And what you can do is it's kind of like what's called mindfulness, is that you're thinking about where you are right now. And so when you're mindful of things, like let's say I'm in this room, I'm gonna pay attention to every detail. I'm gonna pay attention to the surface of the tablecloth. I'm gonna look at the lights. I'm gonna listen for sounds. Which sounds are the farthest away? Which sounds are the closest to me? Which ones are the loudest? And so as you're only thinking about this moment and this time, then it frees up your mind from other things like actively worrying. So I'm sure nobody has any problems with that, right? Because I know I do. So I had come up with something like this in my personal life to help me just make a little sketch of a time when I had the best day ever. And so I have this little drawing. It's basically what I want you to do is take any piece of paper, take any medium, and I want you to think about when you were having your best day ever. And when I say ever, it could be your whole life, or like for me, it could be like the recent history, like just recently I had the best day ever, and that's what I'm going to do a picture about right now. So I want you to think real hard, like take a deep breath, and I want you to think, what was my best day ever? Like ever, ever, ever? Like when I was a kid, or like recently? And so what I would like for you to do, these are the materials you're gonna need. You can use watercolor paper, or you can use any paper, it doesn't matter. You can use watercolors or markers or pencils or whatever you feel like using. This is all up to you. I'm using Sharpies, and then of course the most important thing, your imagination, okay? So we're just gonna take a few minutes to remember a time when you felt like it was the best day ever. So I want you to take a deep breath and try to remember where you were that day. Now I want you to think about who was with you that day. Like some people might say, well, my best day ever was a really cool birthday party we had at the park, and there was a piñata, and my uncle was there, my tia was there, all my cousins were there. And so maybe that was your best day ever. Or maybe your best day ever was when you got your driver's license. Yes! So whatever it is, that's what's so cool about this one exercise. This is that by doing this, you're actively taking your mind out of the construct of worry. Now all you're thinking about was, what was that day like? What was the light like? Was it raining? Who was there? What made it the best day ever? What made it the best day ever? And so what we're going to do is, what made it the best day ever? Try to remember where you were, who was with you, and the colors around you. So you can use watercolor, pencil, crayons, whatever, to do a drawing about your best day ever. And you want to press lightly with your pencil, because then when you go back over to with a black Sharpie or with another implement, you don't want those pencil lines to show. Okay, and so one last thing about mindfulness and relaxation. Sometimes when you're having a bad day, you're able to sit still, think of a place that makes you feel refreshed, and then you will make a drawing. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to show you the drawing that I started. So I started this drawing by making a circle here. because my best day ever that I'm going to do a picture about was yesterday. And it was the full, was it yesterday or the day before? It was the day before. Anyway, it was a full moon. And I don't know if you guys saw that full blood moon. It was amazing. And so for me, it was a really great day because my family came into town and they brought my child with them. And I had been waiting for so long. And trust me when I say I'm going to remember that day for a very long time. So I'm not necessarily going to write, draw a picture with my family in their car and stuff like that. I'm just going to draw a picture of that night and what it looked like. And when I looked up at the moon and I said to myself, wow, my kid's back here in town with me. And my family's here and we're going to go have Mexican food. Yes. So I was really excited about that. And so I'm thinking about that as I'm drawing, you know, and I'm just going to draw the moon. If anybody saw the moon, it had like an orange cast to it. And so like I said, as always, there are no right or wrong answers here. You do you. You have a good time. Use whatever materials that you want. I think I'm going to see if I can put like a little bit. Oh, yeah. I love to do just like some random, the line work, it helps a lot. Fun, 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 fun. There's my blood moon. And then, let's say, I'm actually, a friend of mine took a picture of them. They went out to the beach that night and took a picture of the moon. And this is kind of what it looked like. The water was really dark. And I would say even in some parts, it kind of looked purplish or blue. So I'm going to put my little waves there. Because when my friend sent me this picture, I thought, wow, all is well. The moon is beautiful. The water is out there and it's moving around. And I'm not at the beach, but at least a friend went and they took a picture and it was really cool. So the cool thing is, like, if it was my best day ever, I'm going to know why it was my best day ever. Alright, so I'm still working on my picture, and I'm just grabbing all the Sharpies. I love Sharpies, like I said. Who doesn't? But I could easily be doing this with crayons or anything that you can find that you wish to make pictures with. You could do it with torn paper, you could do it with glue and whatever floats your boat, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna put, there were some like clouds. I believe there were some clouds, you know? And so I'm just gonna kind of do that to signify, ooh, there's the clouds around the moon. You know how, I don't know about you, but I love to go look at the night sky. So there's my little clouds. Let me see if I can get some more yellow on my moon. I was hoping to have sort of like one side darker. And then, where's my orange? And then, big mark like this. And like I said, you just go to town, you do whatever you want. And I'm going to kind of put these, like, for me, this is like the resonating light that shines out from the moon. Oh, that's good. Well, and then you just toss when you're done with it, a Sharpie, you just toss it somewhere. Maybe not. Okay. Let's do some green. I like to do a little bit of different colors in the water because, oh wow, that worked out really well. That was attractive. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And now, since it's a night sky, you know, I guess I would, you know, try and bring in some of that night sky color. Who knows? The most important thing is, it doesn't matter if somebody looks at my picture and goes, what the heck is that? I know what it is. I know that it was my best day ever recently. There had been a lot of dark days before that. And I do struggle with depression. I do have a diagnosis of, PTSD and major depressive disorder. It's a lot to overcome. But for me, I have to just keep at it every single day. It's a daily practice. Just like, some people, when they first wake up in the morning, they stretch, they meditate, they pray, different things like that. So when you have mental health challenges, it's like that basically becomes a part of your routine. If you wake up in the morning, you're like, I just don't, emotionally, I feel like cannot do another thing. So is it a day when you should maybe just chill and take a mental health day and focus on something you love doing, like creating a cool piece of artwork that shows what your best day ever was, maybe? And then coming and sharing it in our comments so we can see the kind of stuff that you like to do. So you're going to see it turned upside down, but I'm going to go ahead and sign it because that's just what we like to do. And I'm going to put best day ever. And guess what? This is funny because it's a night scene, so it really wasn't the day, but it was, chronologically within that 24-hour period. So, well, there's my little scene. If I could, I would like to spend more time on this and maybe use pastels or crayons and come through here with some lighter colors to put some highlights there and maybe some darker colors in the water. And maybe if I'd go in between here with some purple with crayons and stuff like that, like you can just keep going. And my thing is, as an artist, I'm really good about not being able to stop the drawing. So I'm going to stop here. And I'm so excited to see what kind of pictures come through in our comments section. And I cannot wait to see what your best day ever looks like. Who was there? What did it look like? What were you guys doing? What was the best part about it? So hopefully when you see this, you can feel the fact that there's a full moon and there's salt sea air. And it's very relaxing. And so I want to see your artwork. I would like to see it in the comments. And then also at the show, at the end of our program. Thanks for joining us.